Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we're talking to Void the Light. Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I am talking to Void the Light. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Hey there.
Awesome.
Doing well.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, you were kind enough to get a hold of me via email, and I went and checked out the music, and I was like, wow, this is, well, I'll tell you first off, I was intrigued by the name. I love the name of the band, and then I was like intrigued by, the music. I love the heavy alt rock kind of feel to it, and there's some experimental stuff. I was checking out that the last album that you guys did, which was, I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Speaking with Gods.
Yes, Speaking with Gods. And you got some really cool interlude tracks in there. There's just a variety of stuff in terms of like styles and just the depth of your musical composition. So anyway, I was like, yeah, let's talk about your music. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So I like to start in the beginning, and that's the origin. So how did the band come to be?
Well, that I'll take this one just because these guys are actually pretty recent additions to the band's like history. They've only been in, I think Don's been in like what 2-3 years now.
Like 2022.
2022. So
Nice.
yeah, 4 years ish. And then Brandon's like just coming up on the 1 year mark.
Yeah.
But before that, like the very very beginnings, it was actually me, my brother, and a friend that I met through a friend of a friend from like the local high school, um and we just basically started a band in our garage, and it was just trying to kind of just learning how to play the instrument, how we were all trying to learn how to like master our own instruments and stuff. I had never sang before, so I was like learning how to sing, and yeah, we played a bunch of as many shows as we could at that time because we were still pretty young. I was like still in college,
Uh-huh.
and it started honestly more as like a punk band, like punk rock, alternative rock, and like the earlier days were like really influenced by stuff like like Fall of Troy and stuff, and some of those more like At the Drive-In or
Oh
Mars
yeah.
Volta, like really trying out. And then other aspects of different songs also have like Deftones influences and Tool influences. So it's like all the early stuff is us trying to learn and figure out like how to make and write music and play our instruments and all that. And we had some like good growth or whatever for a couple years. We played like Reggie's and Beat Kitchen and Sub T. Like we kind of got around.
Right.
And then both of them, my brother and my friend, ended up having kids, and they were like, "I need to focus on this,"
Right.
So they really turned and focused in on that, and I was kind of like, "Crap, I'm not gonna stop. I really want to keep going with this." It's like it has such a cool sound, and especially working with other people. Like I tried writing for a little while on my own, and it didn't sound the same as when you're working with other people,
Yeah.
you know? So that's where I ended up finding Victor. I actually found him through like a Craigslist ad or something,
All
and this
right.
dude just crushed. And then it was there was one other bassist, Amay, who was like a friend of Victor's. So we like hooked up together, started trying to write music. Amay had to go back to India because he was here like temporarily,
Uh-huh.
so that we tried as much as we could to get done, in that short span of time before he left. Um, and then, you know, Victor really loves playing live music just like everybody does, and that's in a band. Um, and so I was like, well, we got to find somebody to fill in, and then that's where Don comes in. If Don wants to take over, because he's been as much of a part of the evolution of the band since he's joined as anything. But yeah, Don, if you want to try and take over.
Yeah, I can chime in on my part. So I joined in Not really joined, but I started playing with these guys in 2022. Responded to a Facebook ad. Ryan was looking for a bass player, and I was already in a band at the time, a prog rock band called Spooky Boo, and we were in the depths of writing an album, recording an album. So I thought, kind of egotistically, I thought, yeah, I can juggle both, no big deal. Going into the city, traveling out to Elgin, no big deal. So played one show with them after one or two practices, and um, didn't really think I was going to be able to juggle it like I thought I was. So I kind of stayed in as a temp. Like if they needed me for shows or like a one-off recording session, we could do that. Didn't really join the band until probably like 2024. That's when Spooky Boo kind of called it a day. So I was free to focus all my efforts in one direction, and here we are, a couple years later, and we're still doing it.
Nice, very nice. So,
Yeah.
how about while we're going around the horn, maybe Brandon and Victor, you guys can chime in about your
Oh,
experience
Victor
become.
joined.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victor did join.
I didn't even notice.
I
I
mean,
was
yeah.
traveling, sorry, so I missed most part of the conversation, what happened
Yeah,
earlier.
I was just starting off with the origin story for the band, and so Ryan was talking about how the band got formed, but maybe like since Don is given how he became part of the band, maybe Victor, you share yours, and then Brandon, you can chime in as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's been like close to 6 years or 7 years, which I don't recollect well. So Ryan put an ad while we were living in Franklin Park,
Mhm.
and he's like looking for drummers. And I was thinking, okay, I was trying to audition with different bands, quite 30 minutes drive, 40 minutes drive, tried my luck, and things worked out. But I didn't know Ryan was right next to my apartment where I was living in Franklin Park. Like, it was like maybe a minute walk. And the rest is history. So I go to his place, his basement, and he's like, "Hey man, you find a jam with some old tunes, what I have." I'm like, "Okay, let's go for it." And I started playing the drums, and Ryan chimes in. The chemistry worked out really well, and here we are.
Fantastic. I like the serendipity of the fact that you're only a minute away.
Yeah, it was literally like 2 blocks.
That's
I wish
awesome.
I wish that were the case in my end. I'm like 60 miles away.
Oh shit, that's a
I'm a
drive.
little,
Yeah,
I'm a little
same.
far.
Same.
But now things change. So the guys wait for me. I'm like 20 minutes behind the practice time, and like it's like it's always the same story with you, Vic. Unlike before.
Yeah,
Uh,
we all spread out a little bit, like, cause like, that's why we practice at my house. I've got, like, a, little home studio, whatever you wanna call it. It's just a DIY thing, like,
yeah,
as best as I can put it together, and, I happen to be kind of in the middle of everybody, and I've got, like, all this gear from, like I said, from the years before building up all of it. So it's like, again, it's kinda working out, but definitely the distance is always kinda like it's a boon, and it's also kind of like, you know, kinda sucks sometimes. Cause like, the good part is, um, we have, like we have more awareness of what's going on locally, you
yeah,
know? So, like, some of us are in Rockford, some of us are, like, south suburbs and north suburbs, so, like, we're all kind of starting to get a sense of, like, what's going on in the very, very local scene,
yeah,
instead of just the overarching one. And, we're trying to reach out, and that's always, like, a kinda scary but fun time in the band, is, like, we've never played some of these new venues or some of these venues over here, like, let's see what that's like, and
yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty cool though. So
Oh, yeah.
Brandon, how about you?
Yeah.
How did you join up with these guys?
So like you said, I've been with them for about a year, and just so happens Ryan and me are brother-in-laws.
All right.
So we married the sisters.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so we were just kind of talking here and there about music stuff, and at the time I was jamming with a couple of buddies from some bands when I was younger, and then that started falling apart, and Ryan had brought up, hey, why don't you come check this out and jam with us? And came over. We tried a few things, really enjoyed it, and we just kind of went down the road with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's so
it's
cool.
a short and sweet little story, but sometimes that's how it works, and it works out really good that way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So
Well,
Yeah, and we've all got like pretty different like musical backgrounds too.
that's
It's
true.
like the longer, we're playing together and the more like I hang out with the guys and talk with them, the more I'm like learning about their like individual like what they like, you know. Whenever we get together, we're pretty get to business kind of thing, like
right.
we're trying to practice and work on new stuff. So like I don't know, it might also just be me. I'm very like hyper fixated sometimes, but but yeah, like I feel like recently we've really been like the chemistry has been growing into something really cool, you know.
Well, that's a good segue into the next question I had, which was for each of you, and that's like, what were your influences and what got you into playing the instrument that you play, and how do your influences and what you like to play help you fit into this band? So maybe we'll start with Ryan.
Sure. So for me, like my biggest primary influences are like the big three are gonna be like Tool, Deftones, and then like Nirvana in terms of like that's what I all through high school, that was like that was my go-to. Those were like the guys, you know.
Right, right.
Um, but before that, like what got me into music was actually like Hendrix and Zeppelin and Sabbath. Like that's what I
Oh.
learned. That's what we when I was first learning the guitar in the garage with just me and my brother, we were playing covers of Sabbath and Zeppelin, like just trying to figure out how to do it, you know.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then yeah, that grew into the other bands and they still are like really big influences on me at least.
Very cool. Uh, Don, how about you?
So I can actually pinpoint like the exact moment in time. I can't remember the exact year, but what really got me into music was my mom gave me a CD. It was an Ozzy Osbourne compilation disc. It was called the Ozman Cometh. And I listened to that, and there was a couple of old tracks. They weren't the official tracks from the albums, but it was the tune Black Sabbath and War Pigs. And they were like basement tapes or demos or something. And they just sounded so, I don't know, like it was the sound that I wanted to hear my whole life. So I got really into Sabbath, and listening and listening. Um, the bass really stood out to me. Geezer Butler is one of my favorite all-time bassists, so
Yeah,
I
he's
kind of
awesome.
gravitated towards. I want to learn an instrument. I really like how this bass is sounding. Just reading about the band on the early days of the internet, what we could find, these old forums or
Oh yeah,
just
the
little
Usenet
booklets and
forums.
yeah, the CD booklets that you would get.
Yeah, hell
Try to
yeah.
read as much as you can. Uh, but yeah, so I picked up an old. It was a heart key combo situation. It was like $250. I saved up for like a year. Um, Went to the music store up the street, bought it. And it's this little crappy bass with a little crappy amp, but it was mine and I loved it. And so I took some lessons for about a year. And after that year, my teacher was pretty loose. He didn't teach me anything about, music theory or scales or
Yeah, it's pretty
anything like
much like
that.
learn
Yeah.
tunes at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. It was all like, what do you want to learn, man?
Yeah,
His name was
yeah.
Kurt Bonomo. Shout out Kurt at Players Guitars in Worth, Illinois. Uh, and he would always like, what do you want to do? What do you want to learn? I was like, I want to learn how to play Iron Man. So we would just sit there and he just taught me how to use my ear. So half
Yeah.
the stuff, if I'm playing it, I'm probably not playing it the right way, but I'm playing it the way I learned it. Um, but yeah, and then after that year, I was sitting on the couch at home and it was watching VH1, like one of those I love the 90s compilations where they just go over stuff from that decade.
Yeah.
And a Primus video from My Name is Mud came up. And that's what got me hooked on Primus. And, I just kind of went down this weird metal and fusion and jazz and funk, loophole. So I can go on and on and on, but that's kind of where my early influences were.
Awesome.
And that was 24 years ago, somewhere
That's
in
cool.
there. So yeah,
Yeah.
been
Awesome.
a while.
Fantastic. Victor, how about you?
Well, my major influence with the instrument started off with my father. He used to be a drummer, one of the big time drummers in the cities.
Oh,
And
nice.
looking at him when I was 6, 7, I seen this monstrous kit in front of me, and where I couldn't even touch the pedal or try to play the hi hat.
Right.
And he just comes home and he knocks it off with his bunch of guys from this band. And that was my first major influence till date. Looking at him swinging his arms around, his feet around, and the way he plays the drums is like amazing.
Yeah.
May his soul rest in peace. And he comes from an Orthodox background, and he broke all those barriers of not being Orthodox and being free when it comes to playing music. There's nothing called as good, bad. It's up to you how you decide.
Yeah.
And bands wise, started off with Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, and his favorite band was The Ventures,
Oh,
The
yeah.
Shadows,
Hell yeah. The Shadows. Yeah.
and Blue Oyster Cult.
Awesome.
Lot of Indian music, old school Hindi.
Oh,
It's
nice.
more like cabaret and disco. And then as I grew up in college, this is the band which I played for, one of the major bands in India called Rickage.
Rickage.
And we're a bunch of brothers, friends, and we have different influences: Pantera, Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica,
Oh,
you name
man.
it. You name
Nice.
it. There's so many bands which you can keep writing your list and it never ends.
Yeah.
So music has no boundaries. It can be, as long as it inspires you. There's no language, no barrier, just music, pure boundaries.
Yeah. Hell
Of
yeah.
it.
I dig it. Are you a Dave Lombardo fan?
Yes, I
Oh
do.
yeah.
A big time.
I was gonna say,
So
as soon as I heard Slayer, I was like, all right, got to be a Lombardo fan.
first time was Dead Skin Mask when with the Wreckage we used to cover that song, and
Oh
the crowd gives back that energy when you start playing a double bass.
yeah,
The haunting intro, and that's
yeah.
pure.
Oh man, that's it, dude. That's probably one of my most favorite Slayer tunes is Dead Skin Mask. I love that song. That's awesome. Brandon, how about you? How did you get into music?
Well, growing up, my family has always been really big into music. So, like, grandma, mother, they both play piano. My uncle plays the drums. Um, and then just the whole family has been in and out of choir and stuff when we were younger, singing different things.
Yeah.
But as I got older, it started off actually in a bowling alley. Yeah. So, one of my now two closest friends, we met at a bowling alley, and um, eventually we hung out a lot, got to know each other, and we're like, hey, we should start a band, because we were both listening to like heavy metal and hard rock and stuff. And we go, well, what are we going to play, because neither of us played instruments at the time. And yeah, so then he goes, well, I'll play the bass. I'm like, all right, I'll play the guitar. And so we ended up finding a way to get him. And yeah, so he started on that, I started playing guitar, and 6 months later we started writing music. And um, I remember in the beginning, it was a little rough learning, but I picked it up fairly quickly. And then I had 4 lessons in the beginning, and the first lesson, the guy taught me how to play Cemetery Gates from Pantera.
Holy cow!
Yeah. And then so from there on out, a big influence for me was Dimebag, like
Yeah,
huge. Even before being able to play any of it, it was huge on that. And
yeah.
then influences from there were, like I said, Pantera, Damage Plan, Lamb of God, Slipknot. So I, unlike the other guys, like I went down the heavy road immediately. Um, so after that, we had started a band, and just kept going, and then eventually things fell apart. And unfortunately, one of the members of that band are no longer with us. And
Oh, that's too bad.
yeah, but it evolved into other things, other groups, other bands. eventually I did some hip hop for a little while, for about, I don't know, a year or so with a guy, and that fell through. And then started jamming with my buddies again, and then Ryan and I were talking about this, and here we are. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's been a heck of a road, and a 20+ year adventure. So
Awesome. That's
yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
uh,
Fun story about Pantera. I just like to share
yeah,
this because I didn't know who Pantera was at the time, and
okay.
Cowboys from Hell was out, and I went to see. I don't know if you guys remember a band called Wrathchild America. They became
Mhm.
Souls at Zero. It's a, definitely go listen to them because they're awesome. So I was a huge fan of Wrathchild America. They were playing on the east side of Detroit, and I had tickets, so I went, and the opening band was Pantera, and it was the craziest pit I've ever been to at that point in time. Just like stage diving continuously. We were up on that stage running around. It was so much fun. And
That's awesome.
right after that, I bought Cowboys from Hell and became a huge fan of pretty much anything that all those guys did. Including Phil. Who kind of went into left field for a while, and now he's got the Pantera tribute band going. But
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
Was Shannon Larkin part of Rothschild America?
yes, he was. He was the drummer.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did listen to that song recently, 2 weeks back, when I was reading the interview about the news Mike Mangini got replaced with Shannon Larkin,
Oh
and
yeah.
I had to dig in his music. So they covered a song from Pink Floyd, "Time."
Yes,
Didn't know
they
that.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. So when he
It's
spoke of that band, just rang a bell in my head.
it's a great album. It's called Climbing the Walls, and they do a lot of mix of styles where they'll be really heavy and then they'll change it up and change tempos. They even got like a bluesy tune on there. But yeah, so funny story about Shannon Larkin. Sorry to take all of this, but tell you, but we got an interview with him. That dude is super interesting, and he will talk to you. You start talking with that guy, prepare for 2 hours of him talking. He's super interesting. He's got so many
Yeah.
stories. But anyway, so back to you guys. As I mentioned when we started, I was listening to Speaking with Gods. Thought it. I mean, number one, it's epic. The thing you have on Bandcamp, 24 tracks. I love all those different kind of weird interludes that are in there in between some of the tracks. Um, Definitely a variety of styles too. From I can hear some of those influences you were talking about in terms of like Deftones. I also thought, and I keep hearing this every once in a while, and some folks don't know this band. They were around in the '90s, and they were called Dredge.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
they were like heavy, but then they had like some kind of really cool transitions and stuff. You
Mhm.
guys have, and actually Ryan, your vocals kind of reminded me of that a little bit too. They have that kind of feel that some of their stuff is more slow paced than yours is. But anyway, yeah, I thought the Speaking with Gods was great. And then Ryan, you'd mentioned in your email that you guys are working on new music. So that leads me to the question, like, what is that new music and how does it compare to Speaking with Gods?
So, speaking with gods, I mean, if we could just talk about that for a little, just because
Yeah,
it kind of some of the subject matter, I guess, is kind of similar with like the stuff that's coming up in the new album, um, like generally similar, but specifically, like speaking with gods had a whole like concept behind it. It was supposed to be the story of this guy who he was implanted with like an artificial intelligence, like it was supposed to be an experiment to see if like you could actually implant an AI into someone's head and then like communicate with it and live in some kind of like harmony, you
yeah,
know. And this is like kind of a little prescient now, considering how you know AI is and how
right.
dangerous it's obviously become,
Yeah,
um I was just thinking about it because I'm like a huge sci-fi nerd, and the story kind of evolves in like the kind of classic sci-fi way. Like if you read into some of the lyrics, it's especially like that. I feel like the first section of the EP and there's highlights in every part of the 3 parts that, like,
Right.
really get more specific about, like, story beats and stuff. Um, but, like, yeah, the whole concept kind of evolves from, like, an experiment to this guy kind of basically being manipulated, and, like, the AI giving him these false feelings and these false sense of reality that's not real, almost like a schizophrenic kinda thing going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then there's, like, kind of, uh, parallels between, like, drug addiction and stuff like that. Like, luckily, I've never had, like, any real addiction or anything like that. Um, but it's always been something that has been fascinating to me because it's such a dark thing to see. Like, I've seen it, um, and it's from the outside, it's like you can't really do anything,
Right.
except be for be there for whoever's going through it. And it's like there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in speaking with gods, but the idea for the title and everything is this idea of, like, an AI is essentially, when we do come up with, like, a true AI, it is going to be like a god for a lot of people and for a lot of, like, the world. It's gonna be a crazy, scary thing. We don't know what it could
Yeah.
do. We
Yeah.
don't know. So it's a very scary thing, and, like, the new album kind of, like I said, covers some of that, but we kind of we kind of went with it, twisted it in a, I think, an interesting way where, it's not it's no longer anything to do with that original story, just, like, it's topically kind of similar.
Mhm.
So, the general concept so far that we have is, it's like this ancient, uh I don't wanna say specifically like Mayan or Aztec, but, like a Mesoamerican kind of style culture, with
Yeah.
the giant temples and all the water in the jungle, all that kind of that feeling. And so far in the story, it's this, like, young guy who, the father is like a high-ranking priest in their clergy, right? If you know anything about Aztec and Mayan religions and stuff, it gets wild.
Yeah.
They had a whole pantheon of, like, different gods to sacrifice to provide better, like, food or safety or whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, so this young guy is sent by his father to go do this crazy task of, like, fighting wars and killing monsters, some, like, Greek kind of mythology thing. Um, and he goes out, becomes, like, this accomplished warrior, and then comes back and finds that, like, the church has completely taken over and destroyed everything that he loved about, like, his family, uh, his home and his city,
Yeah.
So, he kind of starts turning against, like, religion as a whole. Um, and one night when he's out, like, just in deep and utter sorrow and turmoil, he sees a falling star, and he prays on the falling star, um, to, like, wipe out everything, all of it. Like, he's just full of this, like I said, this dread. He doesn't know what to do,
Yeah.
Um, it falls, and he's close enough to go and find it. So he goes, finds it, and there's, like, this broken creature inside of it that's offering him everything, offering him the world, right? Um, and so far that's like the specifics of it, of, like, the first part. But, like, the idea being this is like some kind of fallen, corrupted god being that he's going to make some kind of deal with, you know? Um, and that's kind of where we're going with it. And there's a lot of stuff in the album that is, like, um pulled I'm pulling from, like, a lot of personal struggles that I've been going through recently because I was laid off last year, and then there was, like, this whole thing where, like, my dad and me are kind of estranged, and I know Victor has stuff that he's pulling from too, because he was in a similar situation not too long ago with, like, the job market just
Yeah.
being how it is, and with AI again becoming so prevalent, I'm kind of also trying to pull on this, trying to make this like kind of weak connection of like we don't know what we're messing with. We're
Right.
making a deal with this thing, and we don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's a really wild concept, but it's really fun, and
Yeah.
it provides me a scaffolding to lyrically pull from, you know, when I'm like, okay, I have a feeling, but like maybe I don't have as many good ways to describe this. I can kind of put myself into this other place, this concept, and then now it kind of writes itself,
That's
you know.
crazy. Well, I I love the idea that you've kind of fleshed out this story that you're building the music to. But that then makes me curious. Like, so how do you guys take the conceptual ideas and turn that into music? Are you just like, do you do you write music and jam together and you come up with some ideas and then think about how that's going to fit, or do you not even think about it at all in terms of fitting? You're just creating music and then you go, oh, this will work in this part. How does that come together?
Yeah, it's pretty much the latter, where it's like I write way too much. Like way too much. It's like dozens and dozens of songs. And I just throw it at them, and I'm sure they don't see half of it because it's just too much. It's way too much. Um, but generally I'll have a few songs where I'm like, these are really good and they kind of fit with the feeling that I have for like the concept.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'll bring like a kind of a demoed out version that's got like just it's just me playing all the instruments, but as just like an idea of like this is kind of what I'm hearing,
Uh-huh.
and then I give it to the guys and they will just completely take it and change it and turn it into this like way cooler version of the song than I could ever have written by myself. And then finally, once that version is kind of taken hold, that's when I'll start really putting lyrics to everything. Where it's like
Okay.
when there's a solid structure underneath, that's when I'll put the final touches on it. You
Yeah.
know. So like
So,
right now, we've only got 3 of the 6 ish. There might be more planned.
mm-hmm.
Um, and it's very slow going because of that process of like,
Yeah,
you
but it
know,
sounds really super cool and a good way for everyone. So, I always love it when bands are participatory, because sometimes you have a primary writer and they pretty much do it all, and then everybody comes in and kind of adds the instruments and maybe a few tweaks. But I really like the concept of having, this kind of inspiring story to work from and then build out from that. So I'm curious, like from Don, Brandon, and Victor, um, would when you're thinking about when you're writing music, are you thinking about the concepts that Ryan has fleshed out, and is that influencing what you're playing, or are you just like you feel something with a particular like idea that he's brought to the table, and you're like, oh, we could add this, we could change this, or maybe we flip the ending or something. So I don't know who wants to start. Maybe Brandon.
Well, I could tell you, some of the times when we're writing, like we've got a new one coming out. It's called Dread Desert Queen. Um, that one was like a skeleton frame, like what Ryan was talking about. And we've all had tons of input on this and changing things around and adding melodies on top. And um, just the strength and sound of that song now is unreal compared to where it was in the beginning. And certain parts of it have been derived based off of like the idea that was presented later on the song.
Uh-huh.
But I could say like personally, when he gives us something, I listen to it and I start thinking about like what would sound good here. And I'll try several things, and maybe this guitar part will work here, but it won't work here, or maybe it just sounds like crap, and you scratch it all and you start again.
Yeah.
Um, so from my point of view, that's how I tackle it. I could tell you one of that song particularly actually. Um, the story on that song was kind of a use for writing the lead or solo in that, as far as the guitar part goes. So in that case, that was a very useful tool of using the lyrics and the concept.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Very cool. So Don, how about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of similar in my approach as Brandon said. My feel is I focus on, is there a groove to the song? Um, can I establish a good groove? And I need to make sure I lock in with Victor on the
Right.
drums. So,
Right.
because you need to have that solid rhythm section, or else it's going to sound real
Yeah.
out of loop and flubby. Um, so yeah, my approach is we'll get a song or two or five, depending on how many Ryan's sending over. um, but I'll normally listen through them. I'll try to pick out which one we want to, because these guys can attest. I'm like the guy trying to rein everybody in and organize everything. Call me a jerk or whatever you want to call me there, but I can be a little bit blunt and trying to pull everybody in and focus. So if we get a batch of songs, we'll try to collaborate and see like which one do we really want to focus on, which one's gonna
Yeah.
be the priority. So once we figure that out, I'll listen to that song a handful of times, and Ryan orchestrates the song, so it'll have a rough drum track, a rough bass track, guitars, sometimes vocals. So I'll listen to the bass and kind of see what he's looking for, and then I'll add a lot of my seasoning on it, whatever that may be. But really, it's in effort of making the song groove really well and having a solid rhythm section. So, because I want to be sure I'm locking in with Victor as much as I can, just so that power comes through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of my approach. Don't really have anything else to
Yeah.
say on it.
That's cool. That's good. It's awesome. Victor, how about you? What's your approach to fleshing out your parts?
Uh, most part of it would be me and Ryan jamming, and we don't have any such thing as this is a song or it's going to sound like, or this is the concept behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of uh, picking up few parts, few hooks of the song, and we just keep jamming on it. And then he adds flavors to it, like what's going to come next. If it's not working out, we will log that part, put in the parking lot, and see what works next.
Nice.
So in that process, we get all the hooks in a best possible way, and then comes Don with his bass licks. Same goes with Brandon, and we'll see which one fits in the grid and which one logs with all of us together, and then we can add our flavors to the song. And then Ryan comes up with this concept. Thinking about that concept, we add certain flavors individually, and that works.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Thank you.
Ryan, what's your so you mentioned that the time frame is, obviously takes a while to craft these songs. What are you hoping for in terms of like putting for all of you guys to put all this together and release some more music?
I mean, I'm always trying to go faster. um, it's kind of difficult because everyone's got their
He's
own
always,
lives.
he's like, he's got this bunch of files which he keeps throwing at us on a OneDrive, close to 100, 200. I'm like, who's going to listen to it? Some sounds utter boring, some sounds amazing, fantastic, and which one do we pick? Like you throw like 100 tunes, 100 riffs on all of us, and you expect us to pick one and work on it.
That's where Don comes in, his specialty for
Yeah.
organization.
So we get flooded in. We are like, what's going on? And then we'll just argue
Yeah.
about it
Don
in a
breaks out.
message chat for a while.
He's got like a sifter. He's just like, all right, yep, here we go. Here's a couple of gems. All right, here we go.
Yeah, I mean it's just constant. Every time I pick up the guitar, I write a new song, and it's like some of them, some of them are frustrating because like I'll write something and then be like, "This is great, this is amazing," and then I try and demo it out, and I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" It's like this is bad. Like I can't show this to them.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what's happening, and then it just sits there for years. Sometimes, I mean, there's songs that I have that are there's one song in particular that I have been sitting on it for about 6 years right now,
Wow.
just because it's like it takes time for some of these. They're unlike a lot of our other stuff, we have some stuff on like Speaking with Gods and stuff that's like in 6, or there's little parts that are in 5 or whatever. There are songs on this album that are they will shift time signatures like crazy, and it's not because I'm writing it to do that. It's just
How it
how
works.
how it feels, you know. And they are really crazy. Like I've never had a group of musicians that were up to the task of some of these songs. Like they get crazy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so like I said, hopefully I'd hope that we could get this out before the end of the year. I'd like to at least get it done recording within the next couple of months. I think we can probably nail that down. Um, most of them have lyrics now. There's one that doesn't have lyrics. Um, and then maybe like there might be a cover or something in there. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I'd hope before the end of the year is that's like the dream.
Yeah.
Um, but with like adding in padding for promotion and creating art and all that stuff, it might not be until next year, like early next year.
And do you
And
plan
then you
to?
can say one song is sitting sort of 6 years. It could be 7 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Seven's luckier.
Yeah, there you go. And do you anticipate that you'll just release it as the entire suite of music, or do you plan to do like? Because I know some bands. I'm torn on the on which way to do it, but singles, just putting out a single here and here for a few
Yeah, I
months,
mean
or.
that's how we did the last album.
Mhm.
We had like, I mean, the last EP, I should say, because like I
Right.
don't think we had many singles before that. But I I don't know. Like you said, I'm kind of torn. I love old school music, like listening experience in terms of
Yeah, put the
you
whole
sit.
thing on.
Yeah, exactly. Like a recent one. Carnival came out with a new album. And it's like, imagine trying to just listen to one song on that. You'd miss out. You'd miss
Yeah.
out on the entire thing that they're trying to create, you know?
Yeah.
Or like bands like Meshuggah, where they're like, if you listen to one song, it's like it's gonna be Meshuggah. It's gonna sound insane and
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
But then when you hear it with everything else as a whole, you're like, oh, this is an insane again, it's I love concept stuff, and it's like they are very good at doing things like that where they're like,
Yeah.
this is a whole idea that we're trying to serve to you. So, I mean, long answer long. I'll we'll probably end up doing like singles just to help like keep people interested and promote the album and
Mhm.
um but what I'd eventually like to do, because this is technically like just a part 1, you know, is like in my eyes, this is just the taste of it. Like we don't know how many of these, like how far I can take this concept.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Because you could
you know,
keep, yeah, the story could keep expanding, and that means that it could be more and more music, which is
yeah.
par- that's part of what I think is great about doing concepts is if the concept is open enough, it allows itself to become, these series, this huge suite of music.
Mhm.
It's just up to you guys in terms of like how does that work and how does it make you feel, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's also too like, are they gonna be bored? Because
Right.
because
Well,
again,
yeah,
I really like the concept, but I
yeah,
know, it's mostly for me, for like, creating lyrics and like coming up with interesting idea like, when I'm writing music, I'm not thinking of the concept, I'm just writing music.
yeah,
But, like, lyrically, it helps a lot, you know? So, yeah, we'll see, how long we can push the concept,
yeah,
or maybe we'll move on to something completely different.
yeah. You might get inspired by something else. You're like, oh, we gotta do this now.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, and, there's just so much there is so much music to pull from that, like, it really becomes and also too, I have a lot of music that I'm bringing to them, but I'm like, I want I definitely want them to have more in the songwriting as
Hmm.
well, you know? Like, there's a few tracks that Victor and Brandon have both showed me that like I'd love to include on some of the next upcoming stuff, you know. Um and it's like I'm always looking for more music. Like the dream would be like King Gizzard levels of output. But again, that's just me. I don't I don't know how feasible that is.
Well, I don't bring much to the table in terms of, hey, you want to check out this bass riff? Nobody wants to hear that.
I mean, I would
I don't know.
totally
You got some pretty wicked bass riffs.
yeah.
Oh,
You bring some stuff and let's jam it out. I the way the band used to just sit or stand in a room together. One person would start playing and then we react,
Yeah.
and
Oh
I'd
yeah.
love to try out more of that, you know.
Yep.
It's definitely a different feeling to the songs when you do stuff like that. They're a lot less like architected. They're more natural feeling, you know.
Yeah, it's just kind of the organicness of that particular time and place almost in some, in some respects. Um,
Yeah. I mean, all of the Beatles was written that way.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, and when you watch what is it, Let It Be, that that documentary that they did, that, Peter Jackson pulled together of all those
Oh,
videos.
Get Back,
Yeah, Get
right?
Back.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, because I think they were recording what became Let It Be. But yeah,
Yeah.
just sitting there jamming, and some of it's like mindlessly boring, right? I mean, if you watch that thing, you're like,
They're
oh my
just hanging
god,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
suddenly he's, Paul McCartney singing Blackbird, and it's like, what the hell?
yeah,
Like it just popped into their head all
yeah,
at once. It's
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
crazy.
It is. It's awesome. Well, this the new album sounds fantastic. Um, I know you guys are busy doing shows and hitting the Chicago area pretty hard. Is that the plan for throughout the summer? Is just to keep getting out there, working on? And I'm curious, is any of the new music making it into the sets, or are you kind of sticking to what you know?
Yeah, all of it.
Nice.
We've yeah, that's well, because part of this is at least my personal philosophy is like whatever you're writing should be what you're playing live because that's how you like iron everything out.
Yeah.
You get all the kinks worked out and we're playing all three of the ones that are written live and from the first time we played it to now they've become monstrously big and like they are moments in the set now whereas
That's cool.
before it was always kind of nervous. Now the
Yeah.
crowd like especially there's one song in particular um that they all know which one I'm talking about because it's like my favorite of the three, you know, where it just like man, it's cool. But
Awesome.
yeah, we're gonna be playing two more shows for the summer and then taking some time off because we got to focus on writing. We got to get these done, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's already, what are we? Almost, well, mid July right now. So
It's just
yeah,
gonna
it's
go
crazy.
faster.
Yeah. Yeah. Next thing you know, it'll be September and you'll be like, son of a bitch, I only had 3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing too. September comes, I'm going down to Kentucky for Louder Than Life, and I am gonna be in a different planet. That's my favorite. That's better than Christmas for me. It's 4 days of like metal music, you know. So
4 days of fun.
Awesome.
yeah, it's great.
That's fantastic. So, we've got just a couple of minutes, but I wanted to ask one question before my final question because you brought up concerts, and that is, um, what's been the a show that just still sticks with you that you remember seeing that is to this day still one of the best ones you've ever witnessed?
I mean, for me, it's there's three. There's three that are just like I have no other. Nothing comes close to them. Um, First one was seeing Daft Punk at Lollapalooza.
Oh, nice.
I don't have any other reference for something that's even close to that. Like I've seen EDM. That was an amazing experience. Sober too. I was young. I was like sober. That was a crazy show. And then seeing Tool live for the first time at Lollapalooza
Oh, awesome.
was crazy. That was like, again, I was like, this is one of the coolest things ever. And then the last one is just because I had never I still to this day have never experienced a crowd this angry and caring at the exact same time. And it was Meshuggah at House of Blues.
Oh, awesome.
It is an hour of just torrential riffs, like brutality,
Yeah.
and the pit never stops. And
Was that
anytime
was
someone drops, picks them up. It's great. It's amazing.
was Animals as Leaders opening for that show? Do you
No,
remember?
it was High on Fire.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Because
High on
I
Fire.
saw Meshuggah at House of Blues once too, so I was just wondering if that was the same show.
I just saw or not High on Fire. They were in town and I missed them. I saw Meshuggah with, was it Mastodon? No. Just recently, like
Where was it? Because
last
I've been
year.
to
It
every
was in,
single show in
it was in,
Chicago that they
well,
that they've had.
I'm in the Detroit area, so this would have been over in
Okay,
Detroit.
because I know they had one. They had a tour recently where they went with Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But somebody else was with them, wasn't it? Or
Yes. Yeah. We missed the very
Carcass.
first.
what was it?
Who?
Carcass.
Carcass. Yeah.
Carcass. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
was. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love Carcass. But anyway, awesome.
Really crazy shows.
Yeah. Victor, how about you? What would have been your most memorable shows?
So many, so many. But yes, back in India, the first show would be Iron Maiden,
Oh man.
which countries from Nepal, Bangladesh, nearby countries, people travel, and that was for a crowd of 40,000 plus.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and that's a that's a first biggest experience with friends and witnessing Maiden live for the first time.
Nice.
And second would be Opeth
Oh, nice. I love Opeth.
when
Yeah.
they played in Madras, IIT Sarang, and Metallica, Megadeth.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Fantastic. Shannon, how about you? Oh,
Shannon.
can't hear you.
Shannon.
Or sorry, Brandon.
Wow. Well, hey.
I'm gonna call you Shannon from now on.
Yeah.
He's still
Shannon.
Larkin.
Great.
Yeah.
Got a nickname
I had
now.
Larkin on the
Got a
brain.
nickname. There we go. Well, there's tons of them. Like they're even saying there. We used to have a local day festival here. It was called um, Rock Monkey Ruckus at one point. It was called Day of Rock at one point. But it started off as Wingding, and every year it was like 15 bands all day. It started at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it went till like 10 or 11, something like that. But some of the most memorable ones, one of the first concerts I went to was a Linkin Park concert. Actually, it was on the Meteora run, and I remember the opening band, and we had no idea who it was. It was Story of the Year,
Oh.
and if I remember right, the track was "And the Hero Will Drown," but that's what they opened up with, and both guitarists are doing backflips off the drum
Oh
risers.
my
The
god.
lights are like blasting on beat, and that's how it opened up. And you're just like, "Holy cow! Who are these guys? What is going on?" And at the end of their show, I went out to the merch table, found out who they were, and bought the album right then and there. And then that kind of goes full circle. So my wife's favorite band is Linkin Park.
Oh, nice.
And so their last tour, the Carnivore tour, um, we had gone to it, and it was Linkin Park, 30 Seconds to Mars, AFI, and a few other bands that were mixed in there. But it was really cool getting to take her to see her favorite band
Yeah.
finally, and she enjoyed it so much that like I had planned on buying the tickets because they were coming back to Chicago in like a few weeks or a month or so, and then unfortunately the incident happened with Chester.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that
Awesome.
those are a couple of the big, the big fun experiences, most memorable.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And Don, how about you?
Primus.
Last but not least, you knew it was going to be on there. Ryan. You knew it. I was thinking about it when the guys were telling their story, so I'll make a quick 4. I got 4 real memorable ones. The first
Awesome.
one obviously is Primus. This was back in '06. It was To Beat a Dead Horse tour. This is when they started like touring again after their hiatus. Um, I actually took school off. Like I begged my mom. My buddy and I got tickets, and I begged my mom, please let me stay home from school to go to this concert. So she let me. And my buddy and I took the red line to Aragon, and we got in line at like 2:00. The doors didn't open until 6. So, you know, we were sitting there we wanted to be front row right by Claypool's rig. So we did. We were like front row.
Awesome.
I had a little, point and shoot camera. I was taking videos and camera pictures the whole night. And I got a full length video, like real pixelated and awful quality of them playing Winona's Big Brown Beaver. So that was like my all-time favorite concert.
Awesome.
Second one is my wife and I, before we were married, went and seen a one-man band called That One Guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No.
Real absurdist. He created his own instrument. He's a classically trained bassist, upright bassist, and he got bored with like jazz and classical, so he wanted to challenge himself, made his own instrument out of galvanized pipe. And it's got all these triggers on it. He presses buttons, runs everything through a laptop, and he plays all this kind of like funky, weird Captain Beefheart laden techno music.
Wow.
Super interesting. We went and saw him at Reggie's. There was like a crowd of 30 people there, but he crushed it and it was amazing.
That's awesome.
Third one was, this is like my favorite live production ever, was my buddy and I went and saw Rammstein a couple years back, I think 2023 or 4.
Nice.
Maybe 22. I can't remember exactly.
Soldier Field?
I'm sorry?
Soldier Field?
No, we went and saw him at in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, because I couldn't make the Soldier Field gig. So we went up to Minneapolis, did a 6-hour road trip, stayed the night over there, went to this concert, and it's the greatest live performance. Pyro, flames, like awesome lighting, stage presence. It was amazing. And then the very last one is just, I had a great time. My buddy and I went up to Summerfest last year and we saw Devo. That was the first time I ever seen them live. And I will say, for guys that are in their 70s, they killed it.
That's awesome.
I really want to go see them again. I think they're coming to Tinley Park in September of this year. So I really, really want to go see them again because they're that much fun.
That's what I've heard, is that because somebody went to see Devo last year. They played the local outdoor theater called Pine Knob and said it was awesome. And I was like, wow, I should have went. But
yeah, it's so much fun. I had a few too many cocktails, so I was really feeling it, but I had a great time.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Well, guys, I so appreciate you being on Fans with Bands and sharing the story of Void the Light. I've got one last question for each of you, and that is, pineapple or no pineapple on pizza? Ryan.
No pineapple.
No pineapple.
No pineapple.
Victor, no? Oh, man. Shit. I was going to call it Shannon again. Brandon.
Well, all right. So I'm not against it, but I'm not for it. I've had it and it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to just choose pineapple on a pizza.
Right.
But the question was yes or no.
Well, then no.
No.
Then no.
I'm in the same line of thinking as Brandon. But if I had to say anything, it would be no.
Yeah. I've said many times, I just feel like that fruit needs to be on. If you're gonna have fruit on a pizza, then it should be a fruit pizza, right? But I know some people love the mix of, jalapenos and, kind of the spicy, sweet and spicy kind of thing with the pineapples. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I prefer, pepperoni, cheese, whatever. That's all good.
Right.
I will say there is an exception. Not with pizza though. There's a place, I don't know if they still make this burger. It's called Kuma's Corner. It's a little heavy metal themed restaurant here. And they used to have a High on Fire burger on their menu. All their burgers are named after metal bands. Yeah. And it had a slice of grilled pineapple on it, along with some, I think, pancetta and a roasted red pepper, some sauce.
Yeah.
And that was really good. So that's where I'll draw on the line with like sweet and savory. I'm not going to have a pineapple on pizza, but I'll do a pineapple on a burger.
There you go. Awesome. Well, guys, thanks again for being on Fans with Bands. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank
thanks
you.
for
Thanks,
having
Chuck.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Chuck.
you.
Good time.
Bands are nothing without you, the fans. Purchasing music and merchandise is critical to their survival. If you can help out your favorite bands, please do. If you're in Michigan, consider following the Playing in Detroit Area Tonight and SE for Southeast Michigan Music Facebook pages. They are fantastic places for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show, telling your friends, telling your neighbors, telling your family, telling your priest, tell everyone, and leave a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jam.